What we're gonna check out right now is the Akai APC Live. Now, this is the Akai Force. So let's just dig in, man. I know y'all have heard about it and y'all been wanting to check it out. So for my people, beat people. For those of you that don't follow me, check out Instagram.com/BBoyTechReport. And so anything that I've posted since maybe the 22nd or 23rd, when you see me posting the O Coast or when you see me posting the grandmother, that's all being sequenced by the Force. So as you can see, it has the same touchscreen as the MPC Live. It's definitely not the same size as the MPCX screen. You got rubberized buttons over here, your transport, play, stop, record. You have undo, load, save, matrix, clip, mixer, navigate, shift. Then you got your navigation buttons, your arrows. The main screen is this, the matrix. If I touch a track, I come up with track settings, like the color of the track, the name of the track. Let's go into the menu and check out the menu. So in the menu, you have a lot of the same stuff or similar. It has a similar look to like the MPC line, right? So here you have the matrix, step sequencer, and your XY effects. Yes, it does have XY effects. Let's give that a little volume. So yeah, you got the same XY effects as you would in the MPC. You go back to menu, you got navigate, where you can kind of place the matrix where you want it to be on the tracks. Go back to menu here, you have your browser, same as the MPC, places content expansion. And you can expand this with a hard drive, the same as the MPC line. You can put your expansions in there. You have clip edit, right? So that should look familiar to you. And if I was in note mode, right? So that's the track wheel. You have track edit, so track edit will look different. If you're an MPC user, this is program edit, right? So if you're an MPC user, this is program edit for this particular track because it's a drum track. So you have several different kinds of tracks that you can do. And this may look different depending on what that is. If it's an instrument, you'll get, when you hit track edit, you'll get the instrument GUI. If it's an audio track, you'll get like clip edit sort of look. So, you know, this will look different depending on what it is. So back to the menu, sample edit, same as the MPC. Sampler, looper, knobs. So you can configure how your knobs look, and you also can hold down knobs. These are like cue links basically. And you have your scribble screens for each cue link. And you can basically tell this what you want it to look like. Right? You can put it on screen. And if you have an MPC, the stuff is familiar. It's just this layout is a little different. So you can put on screen, project, track, or whatever it might be. And those knobs will show you what your options are, your cue link options right there. So if I was in sample edit, I could put it on screen. And what's happening here is you have start times 10, start times 1000, end times 10, end times 1000. So you can adjust the start and end points of the samples. I think you can see that on the screen. Yep. All right, so that's where you could do that at. And like I said, all of this, you know, you could scroll through, expand, zoom in. All right, so similar stuff that you're used to already. Ableton Live. That's something that the MPC does not have. So you could use it as a controller for your Ableton Live. And there you go. You got your MIDI set up. Your mixer. So with your mixer, you have your volume, right? And like I said, if you double click on the top, you'll get this. So you can select the tracks by actually touching the tracks, right? Or you can select the tracks by hitting the numbered buttons at the bottom of the track, holding. And notice what comes up when I click that, little hints. I imagine you can turn that off, but I haven't tried yet. So it has a crossfader here. Let's see, do I have that set up? No, I don't have it set up. You always bring it back home to matrix. So yeah, I was in the mixer, I forgot to tell you. So you can got volume, you have pan and volume. Here's where you can do mutes, solos on each track. You can arm them to record. You can do your automation. You can pan left and right. You can also set the A and V here. Right. All right. So that's pretty much that. That's one way you can assign them. Then you have your synths, right? So you can go in there if you have your synths set up for, you know, reverbs or whatever, delays, effects and stuff. You can just go ahead and hit it. Insert. And this is what I really like about this, because all of your stuff in here, all the built-in effects are there. And you can assign them like so. Same way you can on the MPC. Right? Close. You can turn, if you had several of them on right there, you can turn them all off by hitting all on, all off, right? Toggle them on and off. All right, so launch mode. Oh, along this side here, you have your knobs, launch, note, step sequencer, select, edit, copy, delete the track. So this is how you add your different tracks. You have audio, drum plug-in, key group, MIDI, and CV. Because remember, it has 4 CV on the back. Or you can do advanced and tell it, hey, I want, you know, a drum track, but I want 6 drum tracks. Boom, do it. All right, so you do that by going to an empty track, hit plus, boom, there you go. You can also come here and do your notes and be similar to what you're used to with 16 pads or 64 if you spread them out, right? You can go back to launch mode and launch your clips. So, this happens to be a joint that I made within the last couple weeks on here. So the drums that I'm using, I believe will come stock with this, is from the fam MSX Audio. They did an incredible job on the drums. Props to the fam. I just selected an audio track. You can select tracks a couple different ways. Just by holding down the button, I selected an audio track. If you go to clip, it shows you the clip. You can do your editing on the clip, like I can chop it, right? Undo the chop. I can select it, turn the volume up or down. All right. So that's some of the stuff you can do in there. You have your warp, mute, reverse. You can name it in there. See all your clip information. You can do your shift. You have TC, time correction, cut, copy, paste, mute. Also, if you were in sample edit, you have all that same stuff. So you can go ahead and start to, process things, or you can hit trim and it'll allow you to do the chop, threshold, region, BPM. Hold down shift, you get one shot, snap, process, convert, clear all, slice, right? Slice plus. So this is launch mode. This is note mode, right? So you have launch mode, note mode. If you hold them both, you get the top 4 rows as your launch, and the bottom rows as your notes. So if you were on a plug-in, you can shift down. You have quantize, length, double, clear automation, metronome, TC, right? Jump into TC. Octave up and down. Up. Right? Pads and buttons, right? So the pads, I think they feel dope. Now, you can see they're smaller than the push. I think they may be smaller than the APC as well. They are obviously smaller than the MPC. But they're prime and ready. They feel good. I personally think that they're better than push buttons, but I'm not a long-term push to user. Here's the difference. These buttons on here, now the pads are one thing. They feel nice. I can rock with those without a problem. Obviously, you can see the colors that they come with, that they can be illuminated to use. The buttons, though, they're rubber. I think they feel nice, but if you're more used to the buttons on a push 2, don't expect that from this. This is rubberized buttons, and they're all like that. So, taking a look at the back, you have your 4 CV gates, your MIDI in, out, and through. It comes with the adapters. You have your outputs, your master output left and right, that's 1 and 2, and then your output 3 and 4. Then you got the typical suspects that's kind of on the back of the MPC. Phantom power, 48 volts. Here's what I'll say. If you have experience with push and you happen to have come to Ableton from an MPC background, after a couple days with this, you'll fall right in line. So I have to admit, it's such a different device, standalone sort of APC device with Ableton control and sort of an MPC brain or control system. That's a very different device. Plus it has CV. I was kind of blown away the fact that it has CV. So I think for me, initially, I was kind of like, where in the hell is everything? But the more I've used it, like I said, I've literally put the MPC X up and started creating these joints that I've created on here. And I've only used this for the last few weeks. So it took me a couple days to kind of understand, like, okay, here's where that is, here's what that is. These are shortcuts to certain things. Shift, there's a bunch of shift that you can do. You can obviously go to menu. You'll recognize a lot of this stuff. I mean, the preferences, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, sequences, sync, and all of that. Right, so you can set it to sync, MIDI clock, send it out, or receive it. But once you kind of get used to where things are and start moving around on it, I think you'll be moving around quite easily. Now, it's not the most portable thing, right? But I do have a DJ bag that this will fit in. And I think the size and format will fit right with your DJ rig. For me, I'm not a DJ. But I like the workflow of this because it gives me some of the MPC workflow, but it's really more a APC sort of Ableton push almost workflow, right? With that MPC brain. So what I dig about it is that I use a lot of hardware synths. And so it's easy for me to capture my loops or capture my samples, chop up something, and have it automatically create a new track, so I can kind of go and to the note mode, like so. Right? And so for me, also with it having the plugins in the inside, and you can easily capture something, I can easily see myself traveling with the O Coast and this, and throw it in a bag with my, work laptop and be able to do what I need to do. But I don't need to connect it to a computer. And so I'm good to go as long as I got, like if I'm traveling at a hotel. Now, let me be totally clear. This joint is not exactly travel friendly, but I like that it's so self-contained and the workflow is easy enough to capture audio and capture loops and, chop things up. I like that whole thing. And the way clips launch is appealing. Right? And then if you hit shift navigate, you can jump right into the XY effects. Right. So that's this joint in a nutshell. A lot of potential. They're still kind of working on it. It's I don't know when it's going to be ready. I just wanted to be able to show you guys when it was announced. So yeah, this is what they've called the APC Live, but it's actually called the Force. And yeah, thanks for checking it out with me. I'll have more videos to come with this joint. And yeah, I'll be traveling with it. So it's going to be a lot of dope stuff to come. And by the way, using this with one synth is kind of glorious. So what you're hearing right now is the Mode Grandmother, the bass too. And easy to do your mutes, solo, record, clip, stop. Mutes, solo. Yeah. What else we got? Word.